Hey, I've just escaped from Rockstar HQ, and I found out they're gonna put Brian Griffin in Fortnite. Trust me, my dad works at Nintendo. Leaks have always been a bit of a contentious subject among people. Some love getting information early because it feels kind of scandalous and special to get information before we're supposed to, while others feel like it ruins the surprise. And I mean, sure, early leaks can be cool and all, but when you give me the choice between a professionally made trailer that's designed to hype you up and a blurry photo that someone must have fucking tripped while they were taking, you know, but they definitely get a lot of attention. And because of that, you get a lot of people just making them up. What? There are lots of reasons why people might fake leaks. The obvious one is the internet cloud and the 15 minutes of attention, or they just really enjoy fucking with people. Both of which are pretty valid reasons if you ask me. There have been a lot of really well-made fake leaks that have a surprising amount of effort put into them for something that's just designed to trick people. And then there's the Tobey Maguire No Way Home deepfake.
Hello, Peter.
In this video, I'm gonna try and make a distinction between leaks and like hoaxes and rumors. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of overlap because some of them are kind of the same thing, but I already did a video about like gaming rumors and mysteries a really long time ago, and I kind of want to save hoaxes for its own thing one day. So today, we're just going to be sticking to really blurry photos from 4chan. To start us off, I don't think there is any video game franchise that has more fake leaks for it than Super Smash Bros. With the sheer amount of posts people make trying to trick others of new characters being put in the game. And I'm so happy in hindsight we are finally done with that. Until the next game. As far as I can remember, this began all the way back with Super Smash Bros. Brawl in 2006. Now, I'm sure there were plenty of playground rumors for the original Smash and Melee where some kid in your class told you that you could unlock a Master Hand by beating Classic Mode 120 times and doing a fucking backflip. Actually, it sort of was around back then because, as I talked about in that same video a really long time ago, there was that issue of EGM where they said that you could unlock Sonic and Tails in Melee and provided some, in hindsight, very sketchy screenshots where all you had to do was get 20 or more KOs in Cruel mode, which is like fucking easy. Except obviously no one realized that this issue was released in April. Get pranked, Lamau?
What?
And like, as opposed to some random guy on the internet, this was from an actual gaming magazine. Who am I meant to trust now? This rumor became so rampant that Nintendo had to actually specify on their website that Sonic was not in the game. But I think more of the fake leak side of things came when the internet started getting really popular and people realized that everyone on there was really dumb. One of the most infamous leaks in Smash Bros. History was the Rayman leak for Smash 4, which began circulating with images and footage of Rayman being selected in the character select screen popping up everywhere on the internet. This one wasn't just your usual blurry screenshot. This guy actually went to the effort to animate the character selection to make it look legitimate. And they went as far as to create very convincing character art for not only Rayman, but Mewtwo as well to make it more believable. Aside from the occasional sleuth video, I think most people genuinely believed this one at the time, until its creator on the channel Curiomatic revealed that they made the whole thing up, and all of you were fucking stupid. There were plenty of other rumors going around on forums like Smashboards at the time for the then upcoming Smash 4. I think one of the more notable ones was the Tower of Smash, which they claimed would be a game mode in Smash 4 that would be 100 floors of one-on-one battles with occasional boss fights chucked in there, which actually sounds kind of cool. Damn it. And that very same leaker also claimed that characters like Ridley, the Chorus Kids, Dixie Kong, Mewtwo, and Impa were all unlockable if you owned both the 3DS and Wii U versions. Hey, 1 out of 5 ain't bad. These rumors began starting before Smash 4 was even officially unveiled. I remember one being this fake document that was going around with like Japanese and English logos for the 4th Smash game called Smash Universe. I love the creativity with the Wii U logo. Pretty nice try. It's funny that that ended up being more creative than what Nintendo ended up doing. There was a fake Dr. Mario stage going around that was very quickly revealed to be fake on Twitter, as well as a screenshot of a Great Bay stage in the 3DS version. Some of the fake character leaks for Smash 4 ended up being accidental predictions for fighters who would end up being added later. There was a post on a Smash forum in 2013 that shows an image of Mario and Lucina that they said had leaked from the Smash 4 website. It turned out that this one was made from a heavily modded copy of Brawl that made the game look like Smash 4's graphics, and then Lucina would end up being added to the game a year later anyway. Also in 2013 was a leaked image of Ness's official artwork, as well as a screenshot of him and Jigglypuff in the 3DS version, that people managed to debunk pretty quickly after looking hard enough. In 2014, there was a fake leak of Palutena for the 3DS version that I honestly think even now looks pretty damn convincing, but it turns out the guy that made it created the models from scratch, and then Palutena would end up being revealed for the game at E3 that year anyway. And then of course for Smash Ultimate, we have the incredibly widespread and very frustrating Grinch leak. Oh, it still makes me mad. For those who missed out on the biggest scam of all time, it was basically this like extremely blurry image of the full character banner of the Smash roster that was found on Snapchat with the hilarious caption, "Fuck Nintendo." The image included custom-made art of Isaac, Banjo-Kazooie, Ken Masters, Mark Ryder, the Chorus Kids, Shadow the Hedgehog, and Gino. And the reason it's called the Grinch leak is because in that same photo there was a apparently then unrevealed still of the Grinch from the 2018 Illumination movie that led people to believe that maybe this guy worked in a marketing department or printing company and just really wanted to get fired. And I think it's pretty appropriate that it was called the Grinch leak, because just like the Grinch, this leaker has no heart and deserves to be shunned by society forever. I do remember even with the Chorus Kids and Mark Ryder kind of making me doubt this one a bit. Because it had two of my most wanted fighters at the time, I instantly believed this one. This image fills me with so much disappointment every time I look at it. Whoever made this one, I just want you to know I will hate you forever. I just want to say, I will never understand why Sakurai went to the effort of introducing the concept of Echo Fighters, which were characters that were similar to each other in appearance and moveset, and then didn't include Shadow the fucking Hedgehog. I don't understand. There were plenty of others for Smash Ultimate, but none of them were as widely believed as the Grinch leak. There was this one image of Skull Kid and Waddle Dee on a Pokefloat stage that honestly looked pretty good, but hold on. Zoom enhance on that image. If you look closely enough, you can see that Waddle Dee's emblem looks kind of fucked, and most importantly, his star isn't tilted, which if you compare with an image of Kirby's, reveals that clearly this leaker did not want you to look that hard. This one's not really a leak, but it's still pretty funny. Do you guys remember the time where Sakurai did a Nintendo Direct, and next to him were like yellow and purple chairs that people were 100% adamant was some kind of subtle hidden code from Sakurai that Skull Kid was coming to the game? People were so down bad during this period, man. After Smash Bros, I'd say Pokemon is probably the franchise that has it the worst when it comes to this stuff. Fake information in Pokemon games dates as far back as early recorded history. In 1996, when Pokemon Red first came out and that dumbass fucking kid in your class kept telling you that Mew was under that truck. But I think a very specific genre of fake leaks began around the time of like Pokemon Black and White 2. Before the game came out, one post claimed that it was going to be a region based on Western Europe, with the starters being a fire-type elephant, water-type platypus, and grass-type owl. Most Pokemon leaks are fake mock-ups of the Japanese magazine Kodo Kodo, where a lot of real Pokemon information is generally released, with some of them being surprisingly high quality, like this one with its two, bootleg trainer designs, but two pretty good-looking Pokemon that I probably would have fallen for. They've been doing this for pretty much every game since X and Y, but I think that generation was where it really started to kick off with a surprising amount of really high-quality ones. Since X and Y introduced Mega Evolutions, people went mad designing their own and passing them off as real. Like this Mega Kling Klang that someone sent me on Twitter. There were plenty of fake game titles being spread around as well. One that I do remember hearing about was Pokemon Plus and Minus, that was like spread around to a couple news websites like 8 years ago now. This one was either being worked on for the Wii U or the console after it, with supposedly the region being based off of Southeast Asia, and the theme of old tradition versus new exploration. Whatever the fuck that means. I couldn't find much information about another one I kept hearing about in the same forum called Pokemon Fusion, that I am assuming would have the gimmick of fusing Pokemon. I feel like that's a safe bet, but as far as I could tell, not many people believed it anyway, but hey, it was there. The same thing happened to Sun and Moon with the fake starter designs. I remember seeing these ones being passed around. Okay, come on, that platypus is pretty cute. As well as one that was like this elaborate 3D modeled footage that someone made of this fake Pokemon. And just like with Mega Evolutions, there were plenty of fake Alolan forms being passed around, like this fake Alolan Jigglypuff that looks like a fucking sperm. Another one I heard of was Pokemon Stars, which is a bit more confusing than some of the other ones because maybe this one was actually real. I couldn't really find anyone that deconfirmed it or not, but supposedly this was being worked on around the time after Sun and Moon came out. That was meant to be like a beta version of the eventual Pokemon game that would end up being on the Switch. This one was first reported on by Eurogamer, who claimed it was going to be like the third game alongside Sun and Moon in the same vein of like Pokemon Pokemon Platinum and Emerald. It seems like this one could have been a prototype of Sun and Moon that was running on the Switch as a basis for future games. Maybe it wasn't ever intended to be its own release, but eventually news sites caught wind of it as its own original game. The running theory is that maybe Nintendo changed their mind about it after the Switch was a huge success, and it went from like a sequel or port of Sun and Moon to its own original Pokemon game, and so development shifted to the eventual Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee and Sword and Shield instead. Or it could have all just been false information and never existed at all, but no one ever lies on the internet, so I doubt that very much. Aside from Pokemon and Smash Bros, other series have their own fake leaks that aren't quite as prominent, but are definitely still there. You can tell Splatoon was adopted into the Nintendo family pretty quickly because of how immediate the fake leaks and information about it popped up all over the internet. One was a Toon Link costume that you supposedly could get from the Toon Link amiibo. A lot of the others were mainly Mario Sunshine related, which seemed like a cool idea that kept popping up. One was like the Flood being an unlockable weapon in the game, or an unlockable Mario costume, or even Mario being a playable character himself through the use of the Mario amiibo. One of the cooler ones even tried replicating concept art with like PD Piranha and other enemies from Sunshine. That makes me feel even worse that this isn't a real idea yet. For other games, some people go to the effort to make fake renders or logos to try and add some credibility, but most of the time I think you'll find that they're just going to be like printed out documents of supposed upcoming Nintendo Directs, who I assume all have relatives that work at Nintendo. None of these leakers have clearly ever actually watched a Nintendo Direct though, because there are way too many things that people actually want on there. Going back to the logos, I love how people always take the photos as if they're of fucking Bigfoot. You gotta be sure to take a picture of your screen, otherwise people will be able to tell that it looks like shit. I think one of the more common ones are like various blurry images of fake title screens. There was a fake Bloodborne 2 logo that was made before the game was revealed that honestly looks pretty fucking cool, I'll give them that. There was this one on 4chan for Dark Souls 4 that used the wrong Roman numeral. I'm pretty sure this one is meant to be a joke, but it's still pretty funny. There was a combination of a logo and E3 listing for an upcoming Zelda Wii U game called Shard of Nightmares that people found out was bullshit pretty quickly after that. Even further before that, in 2004, I found a forum post where someone was claiming the next Zelda game would be called either Reigns of Sorrow or Bridal of Melancholy. And they would go on to explain that the game would follow you and this horse you rescue at the beginning of the game who can transform into other animals with magical reins. I mean, Zelda's done weirder. There was a fake logo made for a demo of Kirby Star Knights for 3DS that people worked out was fake after some very thorough investigation. People take this shit very seriously, man. There was a Metroid Prime 4 one that showed like the title screen on the Wii U gamepad, which now we know is never going to happen, even after the game was revealed. I saw this next one in a Scott the Was video I saw a long time ago where someone bothered to make a bunch of like fake logos for upcoming Switch games that included Super Mario Universe, a Kirby game I can't read, Mario Kart Switch, Splatoon Remixed, and Kalia Marie for Smash. Okay, you won me over with that last one. One guy made fake footage of a Delfino Isle stage for Mario Odyssey that was supposedly leaked DLC that I am still mad isn't real. There was this fake Grand Theft Auto 4 screenshot that was being passed around in 2006 that was clearly a lot more optimistic about how colorful the game would be. I love that the top comment says it looks like shit. Another one I remember really well is Super Mario Galaxy DS, which I have to say is probably one of the most convincing fake leaks or hoaxes of all time. In 2007, this footage was released online of a DS port for Mario Galaxy with 2 full minutes of fake footage, not just like a blurry screenshot. And again, this was 2007, so I do not blame anybody for thinking this one was real. And it wasn't just like footage of the Wii version slapped onto the DS, it was custom-made gameplay that was designed to mimic how DS games look. As explicitly explained to you in the admittedly lower quality text segments of the video, you can unlock a download code for the full game by collecting every power star in the Wii version as both Mario and Luigi, and then feeding them to one of the Hungry Lumas. A man by the name of Pablo Belmont was responsible for this one, who has also been behind plenty of other fake but very well-made Nintendo leaks in the past. Like this very elaborate fake console he made called the Nintendo On. That was like a fucking weird VR headset sort of thing that was made in 2005 and was supposed to be a supposed leak of the then upcoming Revolution console that turned out to be the Wii, where most of the trailer looks really well made and then Mario shows up at the end looking like this. This guy has so much talent and he spends so much of his time fucking with people. You gotta love that. And just to wrap up, let's talk very quickly about fake consoles. In 2015, a few years before they officially announced the Switch, Nintendo revealed that their next console would be called the NX, but were very vague about what it actually was in true Nintendo fashion. The only thing we really knew about it is that it was going to be a hybrid of a home console and handheld, because people found out about the patent Nintendo filed for this abomination. And this vagueness led to people creating fake trailers based on the only available information, like the Nintendo Cross or XDS that took the hybrid thing maybe a little bit too literally. There was a photo on Reddit that popped up of a handheld controller that was a complete replica of the pattern. That was basically like the entire screen with buttons covering half of it. That looks kind of cool at first glance, but probably would be complete shit to actually play. And then a little later, another unrelated photo of it showed up with the console turned off. These sparked a ton of speculation about whether they were the real thing or not. There was even this whole saga of people tracking down the exact location the second photo was taken by like matching a photo of a tree in the computer's reflection. It was crazy. Eventually though, it was revealed by the creators that the first one was just photoshopped and the second was 3D printed. But hey, it was fun while it lasted. There were also rumors of a handheld Xbox console called the Xbox Series V that was supposedly going to be unveiled alongside the Series X and S, complete with its own mock-up render that looks like a fucking VTech laptop from 2005. And that is about everything that I am legally allowed to tell you about. But just remember, be careful about what you believe out there, okay? Unless someone posted on Twitter and says that they stole it from Nintendo, in which case it is definitely real.